Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Jessykigen, and today we're gonna do another reaction video. And this one right here, we're gonna go into tech a little bit. I love gadgets. I love, some little bit gadgets in there, especially phones. I mean, anything that is electrically powered, I just love it. But anyway, today we're gonna do unbox therapy. Most of the people know him. He has been in the game for a while, and we're gonna do this. It's the Apple iPhone 15 Ultra. As you know, we're still on iPhone 14, and I think this is just what they anticipate iPhone 15 Ultra to look like. But the name Ultra is new, so let's see what's gonna happen on the video. Let's see how it looks like and whatnot. So without any further ado, guys, let's get it. Let's get it. Where do I go? So without any further ado, guys, let's get it.
All right, so what I have in front of me here is something that I'm fairly certain you have not seen before. And I have not seen before, actually. Inside this package is our best look yet at the iPhone 15. Yeah, that's the next iPhone, the iPhone that you may have seen leaks and rumors about, but you haven't actually seen something manifested in reality that you can hang on to. That's what's inside of this package here, is the closest look yet at the next generation iPhone and the changes that are likely to happen. Now, I can't guarantee that this is exactly what it's going to look like. I've been told that this is what it's going to look like, and it is backed up by a number of rumors and leaks that you've probably seen floating around. What are those rumors and leaks, and what do they indicate? A lightning port to USB-C, finally. A consequence, maybe, likely, of changes in Europe, government discussion and regulation around that proprietary connector, that existing proprietary connector, Lightning. There's supposedly also an improvement to the bezel size. So the screen to body ratio is apparently improved here. And we're supposedly also going to get a periscope lens on the device. Now, I do have the previous generation iPhone 14 Pro Max. I believe inside this package is a Pro Max variant lookalike for the 15 model.
So I have iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I kind of feel like it's not as good as compared to iPhone 13. Because when I compare iPhone 13 and 15, sorry, iPhone 13 and 14, the one I have, when it comes to longevity with the battery and whatnot, it doesn't really stay long. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Just let me know in the comment section I mean, if you have the iPhone 14, and if you've ever used iPhone 13, have you ever experienced any longevity lag or something? Like, just let me know in the comment section below. Also, I think the major difference between these phones is just that they just upscale it a little bit when it comes to the camera aspect of view. But other than that, I don't really think that there is any bigger changes or something. But looking at the Ultra, if this at all is going to come out, then it's going to be something totally new, because I've never seen, in all lineup of iPhones, I've never seen anything as Ultra. And what does Ultra mean? Means slim or what? I don't know. So let's just go on and see.
And then I also have some fancy calipers over here too. We'll see how things measure up. I don't know. It's going to take some precision to try to get in there and measure the difference in bezel size. It's a fairly minimal thing, but it does have a fairly large impact on your perception of screen to body when you're able to shrink that down. It was already pretty slim over here. I mean, this is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and you can see kind of what you were working with. It was nice that it was relatively symmetrical. Obviously, this model launched your dynamic island. Welcome to the dynamic island. But apparently this is going to get even better.
Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about the dynamic island? Do you think it's just like is non-practical, or do you think it's something that you like it, or you don't like it, but you just overcame the use of it or something like that? for me, I feel I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's fine, but it wasn't really that necessary, you know. I can see where the dynamic island came about and its functions and whatnot, but still, I don't think it was that necessary. But anyway,
better on this new model. So let's go ahead and see what we're working with. Also, I should mention at this point, if you want to learn about anything iPhone 15 related before Apple announces it, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because this will probably not be the last video, and it probably won't be the last mock-up that we deal with. Maybe we'll get our hands on the 15 standard or the 15 Pro standard. I believe this is 15 Pro Max inside of here. Nondescript, of course, traveling across borders and so on. Not a ton of labeling. And you have your classic orangish yellow tape in there. Don't ask me why. Oof, okay. Maybe we can just slide this out at this point. And they really pack it in there. Whoa. The drama and the velvet bag over here. Okay. Some strange paperwork. Excuse me, what? Ooh, I feel some clicky buttons in there. Ooh, there you have it. We have a big sticker on the back, and you know what that sticker is doing? I'm surprised I was able to get that off cleanly, but look what it reveals. Yeah, that's right. That right there, that is an Apple logo. It's kind of tough to see, but that is there. And what's interesting, we have an extremely matte finish on the back. Like more so than the previous model, extremely matte.
I don't know, but if if at all iPhone 15 is gonna look like this, I'd rather just stick to my 14. I don't know, man. Why is it so hard for Apple to just, you know, try and make a little bit difference? I understand it's some sort of market. No, is it really marketing strategy, or is it just a form of maximizing the profit or something like that? Because it's going to be really weird to just go ahead and just purchase iPhone 15 Ultra when it just looks like that. I thought maybe, look at it, even the camera in iPhone 14 looks much even the camera in iPhone 14 looks much bigger compared to the one that has been in box right about now. I mean, the 15 one, it doesn't make sense at all. But anyway, let's just see.
And almost grippy texture, pretty much identical to the previous model as I hold them up there. So you do have a rumor of a periscope lens, but there's nothing I can tell from this model that indicates that. Those two camera layouts look pretty much identical. I think we're going to have an identical height measurement, an identical width measurement. Yeah, that pretty much looks to be the case. The other thing I'm noticing about this model, the edge is not your regular polished, it's more of a brushed look. Almost like brushed aluminum or some other type of brushed metal. I know there were rumors of, similar to the Ultra watch, that you would have maybe some other metal in use and maybe a brushed look like this. So that seems to be indicated here by this mock-up. On this side of the device, our power switch remains in the same location and nearly identical.
Is it all in me, or I just see like it's just a knockoff? Because look at the finishing. I mean, the 15 looks kind of brushed off. I don't know. Let me see what the comments. I don't know. Let me see what people are saying in the comment section. Somebody just said finally happened. They removed the box too. And let's just continue.
Maybe slightly smaller. That's a bit odd. On the bottom of the device, ooh, that definitely is USB Type-C, ladies and gentlemen. I should be showing you and not me. So the bottom one is obviously the...
Actually, I knew that they're going to bring in Type-C because that's where the future goes. I mean, yeah, Type-C, that's where the future goes. Imagine just having, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, yeah, the only thing that is not of use with Type-C is just your phone. So I think it just defeats the purpose. It's better for them to have an iPhone that can access or can be used with Type-C, so that you can be able to carry just one charger, you know, carry one charger for everything. You don't have to carry like 2 different chargers for your phone, for your laptop and whatnot. Anyway, that was a good move.
15, and this is the 14, and if you look closely there, you can see that the 15 model has a little pin in the center, which if you've ever looked at a USB-C cable before, you know that you have that hollowed out center portion that the cable fits around, as opposed to the lightning connector like we currently have on the iPhone 14, all the 14s and dating back forever. It fits inside, but it has no central cavity. So that is what your lightning port looks like. And then you can see that pin inside and the slightly different shape. I suppose what we should do is actually get a Type-C cable and see if it fits in there. I think I have one right over there. You know, I don't know if this is going to work or not, because sometimes with these mock-ups, it's not exactly to spec, but let's go ahead and try it anyway. Oh, it's a perfect Type-C fit. Ooh, so how about that for news? As far as those manufacturing these things...
What I'm saying is that I have an Android phone and it uses Type-C. So I don't have to carry like 2 chargers. You know, I just have to carry one charger that is going to be universal. Pretty much good.
Early in China, they are convinced, and I have reason to believe that they know what they're talking about, because they are already in production around things like cases. And if you were going to make a case for this phone, as we'll be doing obviously with later case as well, you're going to need to know exactly how much space you need for your cutout for your case. And so if it does happen to be USB Type-C, you're going to need to know now before you go into mass production. And this is a perfect USB-C fit on the bottom of the iPhone 15. Obviously, if I pull over the iPhone 14, you'll see not the same dimension at all. You're getting no action there on the Type-C. So that's lightning. So that's kind of big news in and of itself. And it's a thing that people have wanted for a while. And no more proprietary connector. Was it the legislation in the EU? Was it some other reason? Were they going to do it anyways? There was rumors of a portless iPhone. And this unlocks some things for you. It unlocks the ability to get your faster charging rates, what type of charger they put out, and just how fast.
Yeah, actually, Type-C unlocks all that. I mean, look at all Android phones. I have an Android phone. I could charge my phone in between 32 minutes and I have full charge. For an iPhone, I have to wait a little bit. Even if I have a fast charge or something, I have to wait a couple of minutes compared to the Android phone that I have. So I think iPhone also wants to go to that trajectory, which is good for iPhone users and whatnot, because you really need to just, plug in and charge within 30 minutes and you're good to go. You're good to go for the whole day or something like that. You don't have to wait a whole 1 hour just to wait for your phone to get charged.
Fast this thing can actually recharge. On this side of the device, there were rumors here, an actual kind of capacitive button, a solid state button, instead of physical buttons. Like it might be something similar to the trackpad on the new MacBooks. But then that rumor quickly fell out of favor, and people seem to agree, including the manufacturer of this, that on the iPhone 15, we're going to have dedicated volume buttons similar to the previous version. However, in this case, they've made it one uniform rocker as opposed to individual buttons. I don't know if we're going to see that on the final version of iPhone. That's an interesting choice that it's inside of this demo. Take that with a grain of salt right there. I don't know. I don't really care one way or the other. Like maybe from a design perspective, you have a strong feeling about that, but the rocker functions almost identically to the individual buttons. There's separate clicks on each end of the rocker. I guess there's arguments in either direction. SIM tray is in the same location, and here is your other change, right up near the top. So the legendary switch from previous generation iPhones is gone. It is now a button,
Really?
And it may very well function as an action button, similar to what we saw on the Ultra Watch. So it might not just do your silent, vibrate, and so forth. You may be able to do a lot of different things with it, but you will no longer have the satisfaction of this click that you've had not just on the iPhone 14, but...
Exactly, man. You know, the satisfaction that was there when you just clicked that thing was pretty much good. I don't know why they did that change. I mean, the button. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna have more than one function if that's the case. But if it only has one function, then I think it's gonna just create so much disturbance. Imagine just you just press it accidentally, and you just, you know, I don't know. It's just gonna make things look so complicated. But I don't know anyway.
But a variety of previous models. Now it will be a button going forward. Let me know how you feel about that down in the comments. I'm curious what the consensus is on that. And boy, have they done a good job this year on the front of the device. Like, holy cow, that bezel is extremely slim. Dynamic island still in its exact same location. This is one of the best looking models I've ever handled or looked at. This is incredible. The weight of it, it feels substantial. It's almost identical to the current generation iPhone. And then let's go ahead here and get a quick comparison of those bezels versus the previous generation. So you can see, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot.
It's just, I mean, the bezel is just like few inches, man. I mean, it doesn't really make that difference. Come on, Apple, you can do better. But anyway, I mean, it looks good, but I mean, come on, man.
But I promise you, it's a lot. It's almost half what the previous gen was. It looks that way almost half to my eyes, depending on the angle you look at it.
I don't think it's almost
like
half.
Chin, for example. Yeah, if you kind of compare in the corners there. They definitely shrunk it down, and that impact is pretty massive when you look at the device. Like, I'm looking at that, and that almost feels like all screen. And I love the symmetry of it. I mean, I'm still not the hugest fan in the world of the dynamic island. It kind of sticks out a little bit. It is interesting and unique the way they've gone about maintaining those necessary components for their version of Face Unlock, which is one of the most secure that's out there. So I can appreciate that. But can you imagine this thing if you didn't have this piece at all? If it was just equivalent the whole way around and you had like an under display front-facing camera. Now, those are not really the best yet, so that's not a perfect solution. The quality suffers, and a lot of people on their iPhones love to use their front-facing camera, so I'm not sure people would go for it. But just imagine without how minimal that thing would look if you didn't have any dynamic.
I think what they could have done is just try and reduce the dynamic island a little bit, because that thing looks massive in front of your face, man. When you're just having a phone, look at that. So massive, man. I mean, they could have just reduced that little bit, you know, just a little bit, you know. You see, compare this one to this. Can you see that? You see that? It's just a dot. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, just if they can really make it a little bit smaller, I think it's gonna create it's gonna make its screen more fuller.
Dynamic island, but instead just equivalent bezel, tiny trim bezel the entire way around. It's like full brightness all the time, just across the entirety of the device, not including buttons. So that's coming 76.66 on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And we'll pull over the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Do the same thing. 77.68 versus 76.66. 77. So it's like we're talking about a millimeter of difference across the entirety. So that's why it's so difficult to measure on each side individually. But definitely you end up with a more narrow feeling device. And that's good because when you look at the aspect ratio that Apple's using, sometimes these things can feel a little bit fat in your hand. And then reaching the far side of the screen can be a difficult task. So any bit that you can shave off of the bezels and the width of the device while maintaining your screen real estate is going to be a welcome addition and improvement to any, especially max size device. Actually, I just noticed it has a little a curvature around the edge where it actually wraps around the exterior of the front and back panel. And that could be another reason why it feels even thinner. It really dials up right at the edge and almost wraps around the glass on the front and the back. And the previous model maybe did slightly less of that with the polished version. But this whole frame, the stainless steel frame, compared to whatever this material here is going to be, it feels fatter by comparison. And obviously on the measurements, it is fatter. The other benefit with this port, this is the same port that's used not just for Type-C, but also for Thunderbolt. So for those that use these things for like pro video and huge file transfers, there's a rumor that on the Pro model devices, this port may support Thunderbolt 3.2, which would be crazy. I mean, getting Thunderbolt 3 transfer speeds off of your phone, this would be incredibly useful for those that shoot a lot of content and large file sizes. Oh, you know what? There's another important measurement. There's a rumor that the device would be thicker, and I'm talking like this thickness here, possibly for battery improvements. This is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. 7.9, 7.91. New guy, yeah, it's fatter. It's definitely a bit fatter. Just under 8.4, 8.37.
Wow. That's actually really huge. I mean, that's big. I don't know why. Most probably because of the battery, but still, I mean, what's the name Ultra mean? Does it mean kind of slimmer or something? I'm confused.
Right around 8.3 is the measurement I'm getting. I don't know if Mo can see that there. So fatter. Oh, you know what happens with a fatter phone is your camera units don't bump out as far. So they're popping out a little bit less. Maybe people didn't like that all that much. I mean, here's the benefit. Slightly fatter device, maybe slightly better battery, less of a protrusion on the camera modules. Look at that. It's definitely slimmer than it was. They're still poking out, but not as much. If this bezel comes in at 1.55, what measurement did I get on that? Yeah, maybe 1.5. Just over 1.5, 1.57. It's tough to measure it. Supposedly on paper, we're looking at 2.17 on the previous model, and this 1.55 is going to be a record breaker when it ships. It does make an impact. It does feel futuristic. But again, is that gonna necessitate the upgrade? 0.5 millimeters less bezel, but it does make an impact and it feels new when you hold it. So here's what I'm starting to think. I'm like inspecting this frame, looking at how thin it is, imagining the strength necessary, structure, and then also recognizing that Apple has chosen titanium, obviously in the Apple Watch Ultra. And I'm thinking for the 15 Pro and Pro Max, we could be looking at a titanium iPhone if it actually happens. And if you did have titanium, you would have this brushed look to it. And you would obviously have incredible strength properties at a weight savings. And then it brings you to the next part of the discussion, which is, well, why bother calling it Max? If you've already got the watch and you're calling that Ultra and it features titanium and it features an action button, then why not just call this the iPhone 15 Ultra or the iPhone 15 Pro Ultra? That's the only problem. What happened?
All right, so I think it's just him trying to propose that it should be called iPhone 15 Ultra. I don't think so. I feel like it should just be Pro Max. I mean, that's as far as it can go. I don't know. When you talk about Ultra, I mean, it should be something that is totally different from what we have or what I look into iPhone 14, you know. But making it look, I mean, yes, we have Pro Max, and then let's say Ultra. Ultra is the ultimate of all, but not just taking out Pro Max and then equate it to 15 Ultra. I don't think that would make a little bit of sense in that, but I don't know. Everyone has their own opinion.
To the smaller model, that's the way they've kind of differentiated, where you could have Pro and then something more than Pro, but Pro Ultra sounds like too much. So do you just have Pro and then Ultra? Or could you actually have Ultra Max, which is just getting out of control? There's going to be plenty of people that watch this video and go, it's the same thing. What are you talking about? And yeah, I mean, in most ways it is. Obviously, it'll have an upgraded chip, A17. The cameras should have some level of enhancement. You've got some new buttons on there. They'll probably talk about increased battery life because it got ever so slightly fatter. And then they'll show you the front of the device, and they'll probably talk about Thunderbolt on the Pro models. And then you'll be sitting there thinking, are those things of value to me? Do I need this upgrade? And certainly some people will buy it, but certainly for others, it won't be necessary. And it's becoming increasingly difficult in the smartphone market to compel people to be on that upgrade cycle that they used to be, because a lot of the improvements these days are strictly incremental. Anyway, there you have it. Your best look yet at the iPhone 15 Pro Max, in this case in this matte white finish. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button because we're probably going to have some more follow-ups before this device officially drops. And so if you don't want to miss that, then the simplest way is to click the subscribe.
Anyway, that was a good video, but I'm going to give up my own opinion. If that's what iPhone 15 is going to look like, then it's I don't know, it's a big fail, to be honest. I don't know. I think it's just like a downgrade somehow. I don't know. I feel like it's just, there's something missing, you know. For me to go to 15, I really need to see the worth of, you know, where I'm going at. What is it that I'm getting in 15? You get it? So I know some Apple fanboys out there. They don't really. They will see the difference. They're gonna say, "Yeah, we have the bezels are smaller, and you know, the camera bump is not that big." Blah 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 and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, the only thing I'll just give up, the only thing I just give it up on this phone that I've seen over here, which is 15, whatever name they're gonna call it. I think it's the Type-C charging cable or something. That's the one thing that I've always wanted on an iPhone. I think that's the major change. Apart from that, I don't see anything. The look of it just looks the same. You understand? It just looks the same. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscription button and also hit that subscription bell if you want to be the first person to watch my videos whenever I post them. And yeah, just let me know in the comment section below what do you think about the iPhone 15 I mean, the anticipated one. What do you think? Do you think there's a big difference in terms of appearance and whatnot? Just let me know in the comment section below. If you want me to do more of this kind of video, just also give me a shout out down on the comment section below, and I'm going to see you later, and deuces.